Okay, this is Chapter 1, Participation Points, and as promised, I'm going to do a short video to kind of refresh and to help you complete this activity. So let's go back to the main focus of this particular chapter, and that's that accounting equation, assets equal liabilities plus owner's equity. We have assets, which the accounts are like cash, accounts receivable, supplies, land, building, anything that we own or resources that we can use to maintain our business. On the other side of the equation, we look at liabilities and we look at owner's equity. Liabilities are anything that we owe, O-W-E, so it would be accounts payable, notes payable, wages payable, or anything that we're liable formally for, such as unearned revenue. On the other side, now that's one part of the liabilities and owners, liabilities of the equation, but we also have owner's equity, which is going to be capital in the case of a sole proprietorship or common stock. If it's a corporation, you'll also have withdrawals under proprietorship or dividends that will have to be taken into consideration for owner's equity. So that is the equation. Now, attached to what I would call the owner's equity is sort of a mini calculation that we have to do. We add what our investment is, but we also subtract what we withdraw from the business or the dividends that we pay out to common stock. In addition to that, we have this revenues and expenses. That also will add to owner's equity. And revenues are fees, revenues, services, anything that brings in cash that is related to our business services, whether it's a product or a service. From that, we subtract expenses. Now, the difference between those two becomes net income or loss. This net income, this difference between the two, gets added to owner's equity. And that could be directly to the capital account or to a retained earnings account in a corporation sense. So these all involve all of the accounts that relate to this accounting equation. Now, assets equal liabilities and owner's equity become the balance sheet. When we reconcile the beginning capital to the ending capital of the accounting period, we use the statement of retained earnings. And to get the statement of retained earnings, we have to take the beginning capital minus the dividends or the withdrawals plus the net income. Now, to get a net income, we have to do an income statement, which involves revenues and expenses. And those become your income statement accounts. So we have balance sheet accounts. We have statement of retained earnings that we have to reconcile beginning and ending capital with. And we have the income statement accounts, which are revenues or expenses. So this all ties together to keep this accounting equation in balance. And as a demonstration of that, let's look at a couple of equations that are missing numbers. So you have total assets equal liabilities plus owner's equity. So if my liabilities are $118,000 and my owner's equity is $338,100. What are my total assets? Well, if you look at the equation, this is like 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? So if these two added together equal assets, to find my total assets, I have to add these two. And that will give me total assets of $456,100. So if you move to the next one, it gives us total assets, but it doesn't give us liabilities, but it gives us owner's equity. So to figure that liability, I'm going to take my total assets and subtract the owner's equity. And if you remember right, I had the same problem in class. I had a comma in there. And I come up with total liabilities of $325,010. Now, for the last one, what are you going to do? Well, we've got assets. I've got liabilities, so I'm going to subtract those liabilities to get owner's equity, which gives you $2,072,200. So that's kind of how you work the accounting equation in a very concrete way, with no other numbers getting in your way, or no transactions getting in your way. So I think I'm going to end this one. We're going to call this exercise 1 in participation, and then we'll move to the next one, because I don't want you having to sit here for hours at an end. So let's stop this.